Welcome back to season 5 of Professional Perspectives. I'm Marvakela, joined by my co host, Praneeth Vimuri, and we are very excited to kick off a brand new season with a powerhouse leader whose work sits at the intersection of conflict, culture, leadership, tech, and sports. Today, we are joined by Dr. Jen Fry, a sports geographer, conflict literacy expert, sought after speaker, and 3-time founder.
She's the CEO of Gen Fry Talks, an organizational change firm that helps leaders and teams understand conflict, develop emotional intelligence, and build workplaces where diverse perspectives drive innovation. She's also the founder of Corridor, a business to business sports travel logistics platform streamlining group communication, itineraries, and real time updates for youth sports events. Dr. Fry is reshaping how teams, organizations, and entire communities navigate conflict, culture, and collaboration.
Also, she holds a PhD in sports geography from Michigan State University, has worked across higher education and athletics in coaching and leadership roles, and also continues to travel the world teaching about conflict, accountability, healing, and building equitable systems. We are very honored to have her with us to start season 5.
That's probably one of the best intros I've had. I need to have you all follow me around and do my intros all the time because that
Thank you
was a
so
solid
much.
intro.
Yeah.
So y'all can just literally anytime I speak, you all can lead off because that was a phenomenal intro. Thank you. I'm so
Thank you
excited to
very
be
much.
here.
Of course, yeah. So to get us started, a huge part of what you do is in the field of like conflict literacy, and we were wondering what first sparked your interest in conflict literacy, and how did your early career experiences shape that direction or interest in the field?
Yeah, so I'm a former college volleyball coach, and sports is all about conflict. It's all about passion, excitement, in 30 seconds you can feel every single emotion. And I left coaching in 2015 because I realized coaches, staff members, and athletes weren't getting real actual skill-based learning on the hard stuff. We were getting a lot of X's and O's, but we were not getting information on how do we navigate conflict, how do we navigate hard conversations. And so that really was what sparked me doing this. And a lot of times, things you'll go through a decade or years before will lead you to your path in the future. And so I started really hitting a lot on conflict in about 2022 and realizing that the experiences I had as a coach is what gave me the foundation because I was really bad at conflict as a coach, really, really, really bad. And a lot of my first athletes that I coached were kind of my guinea pigs for me of learning how to even navigate it. And so thinking about how I didn't handle myself well really pushed me forward to say, if I wasn't doing well with this, other people weren't. And how can I help them get better at that?
Yeah, totally. And it seems that you did have a unique lens on this conflict and communication. As you said, not all these coaches were really seeing eye to eye with you. When did you realize that you really had a differing opinion on these conflicts?
Yeah. So I've been a speaker since about 2015. And I have been speaking about race and sport since then. And in 2022, I really started to pay attention to the landscape and I started to pay attention to what I was talking about and how it was affecting my audience. And so because when you looked at the landscape of, states were starting to not only cancel out DEI but make it illegal, I started to pay attention to how can I still help people. And within that, I started to really hone in while I was speaking and to see what topical areas started to hit people more. And when I talked about ground rules, when I talked about conflict, people started to lean in. They started to ask more questions. You saw how it resonated and sat with them. And so that's what really sparked my interest. And then as I started to do more work, I realized that people weren't really talking about conflict. People weren't really helping folks build the skill set of navigating through hard moments. And so because of that, and my research topically, I started to say, well, maybe this can be an area where I can excel in and help people grow because conflict's a really hard area. Anytime you mention it, people kind of, they'll cross their arms. You can tell they kind of are like, oh, what now? And so, how can I help them not only not be defensive, but also want to lean in and learn on something that not only affects them currently, but potentially has affected them for their whole life. And they're not sure how to navigate it. Because, one of the things about that is family conflict is really, really hard. There's so many layers and context to it. And a lot of people don't want to open Pandora's box because it's kind of like if I start talking about this with my family, I'm going to talk about this, 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 and it's going to just go downhill. So I'm not going to talk about any. And that really starts to snowball them not being able to talk about stuff in relationships. They can't talk about stuff with their friends, right? They can't talk about stuff at work. And so it really creates this closure and they're not sure why. And so for me, being able to get them to talk about it is so important to me. And I think helps people not only in their work, but also in their private life in such nuanced ways.
Yeah, I think it's awesome the way you're kind of advocating for talking about conflict and also not shying away from it and opening up about it and sharing about it. And in an earlier question, I did mention the term conflict literacy. So, in your term, to give our audience an understanding, for someone hearing the term conflict literacy for the first time ever, how would you define it in practical everyday language?
It's learning how to have skills in conflict. Think about literacy. Whenever we think about literacy, it's getting skills and learning how to read. If someone's illiterate, they don't know how to read. If someone is conflict illiterate, they don't know how to have skills in conflict. And so my goal is to help them become conflict literate, which means that they are building a skill set and learning how to navigate conflict.
Yeah, I see. And kind of bouncing off that answer, what are some of like the biggest myths or misunderstandings people have about conflicts and conflict literacy?
Oh my gosh, we could be here all night. I think one of the first ones is that conflict is bad. That's one of the main ones is that people, whenever they think of the word conflict, it immediately is bad. I think the second one that's a myth around it is that you can't have harmony if you have conflict. There's a phrase that says the absence of conflict is harmony, and that's just not true. So many people think if we're not fighting, everything is fine. That's a massive myth that hurts relationships a lot more. I think another myth about conflict is if I don't talk about it, it will go away. And it will go away just like if you're in the water with a shark. The shark fin will go away and it will pop up and rip your leg off. It's gone. And then all of a sudden you have one leg. Right? So like I think those are the biggest things about conflict that people don't that make people hate it. Not understanding that conflict is something you are going to navigate on a consistent basis in your life. Small, big, hard, easy, you will always be navigating conflict. It is something that will never ever go away. And the better you can get at it, it's not going to be 100% easier, but it will be a little easier. And that's the goal is that going into it and saying, man, I know this is going to be a hard conversation, but it's one I know I must have for the benefit of my relationship, of me, whatever it is. And so people just have such a fear. And I think many people think they're afraid of, here's kind of another answer to your myth. I think most people think they're afraid of conflict when in reality they are afraid of how they're treated during conflict.
Wow, the way you said, I feel like that's really eye-opening. In two senses, where I felt that it was first really interesting to see that you shouldn't shy away from conflict and you should open up to it and be able to learn and grow from it. But also in the sense that conflict is something, again, like where you can grow from it and it's not always an indicator of something bad or something you'd want to
Yeah,
avoid. And
absolutely.
in that sense, in relate to teams, what would you say are the first steps teams can make to create a healthier relationship with disagreement?
To know that's gonna happen. I used to coach, and whenever we'd have recruits on campus, they would be like, "So does your team fight? Because my team, we've never fought." And I'm like, "That's the biggest lie ever. Like, that's a huge lie. Everyone fights in every single way." And, if you have siblings, it's like World War III, knockdown, drag out fights. Everyone has them. And so that's, I think, the first layer is just telling people we are going to disagree. We are not going to like each other. Sometimes we might hate each other. Like, that's a normal part of it. And once you have that foundation, it makes the emotion or the situations not feel as bad. Because then sometimes what happens is that people will say, well, this team, they've never had conflict. If I'm the one who's saying something, then I must be the bad person. And that's not true. Everyone has conflict. Everyone needs to learn how to navigate it. And if we could put it on the table and say, look, at some point, we are all not going to like each other. We have been on the road for 3 weeks. We have been with each other for 15 days and always around each other. At some point, we're going to all get pissed off. That's just normal. And being able to apologize, navigate it, talk through it is the next important thing.
Yeah, and one thing I think is super important is actually the leaders who run these teams have to also know how to get through this conflict. And you, of
Yeah.
course, have lots of experience with leaders across multiple
Mhm.
industries. So, in your opinion, what would you say separates these leaders who thrive in conflict versus those who actually collapse under it?
The ones who don't want to engage in it, or they engage in it in such a aggressive way that no one wants to talk to them. When you are a leader, it sucks because you have to be able to handle those hard things. And the leaders that don't want to talk about it, who, like you said, shy away from it, their culture is going to crumble. Their culture is not going to be able to innovate. Their culture is not going to retain talent. Their culture is going to be one that people come for the job but leave as quick as possible. Those are the cultures that if you ask a question about conflict on your interview, everyone just kind of looks at each other because they know the elephant's under the rug. Those are the ones that people can't be honest, they can't be transparent, they can't give feedback. Those are the worst types of cultures. And the cultures where it separates it are the leaders who acknowledge when they've made mistakes, not a we all made a mistake, but I made this mistake. Jen, I'm sorry I said that to you. I apologize. Those are the type of cultures where people flourish. They're willing to stay for less money. They're willing to stay if they have to work more because they understand that if they bring up something, they're not going to be pushed away. They understand if they give their boss feedback, it's not going to be this overblown thing. They know that um, people aren't going to be pitted against each other because folks won't talk about conflict. Those are the ones that the cultures that people want to stay in and grow are the ones where leaders understand how important it is for everyone to know that conflict is a normal part of growing and of like when you grow and scale, there's going to be conflict. There's going to be disagreement. That's just normal. And if you aren't willing to have that, it's going to separate you from the companies that scale and go crazy and the ones that just die off.
Yeah, and of course, I can tell you're very passionate about conflict literacy in general and what it entails and how it can be used to kind of improve yourself and improve your team and improve your relationships in general. But to segue to a very interesting part that I wanted to talk about is your book, I Said No. And in the book, I was wondering what inspired you to write the book and what made it this the right moment to write it.
Ooh. So I think one of the things is that so I said no is I said no how to have a backbone and boundaries without being a jerk. And as a speaker, you want to leave stuff with someone, right? You want to leave some where someone has this thing and they're like, I can think more in depth on it because when you speak, you'll speak for 30, 45, maybe an hour. And people will write notes. But whatever they'll remember is what they wrote down. When you have a book, you can leave with it and you can go back and you can think about stuff and you can, right, just get entrenched in like, okay, now I had this talking point, but now I can tie it with the book. And so I want to leave people with something. And for me, I think there are three things that people just need to work on. Say no, fiercely advocating and setting boundaries. And I think we're in a time right now where we're talking about all three of them. We talk about the different generations and how the younger generations have no problem in saying, I'm not going to work 90 hours a week. If I don't like this job, I'm going to quit. Where else older generations would stay at a job for 50 years that they hate because that's all they knew how to do. And for me, I really wanted to help people learn to self advocate for themselves because conflict is a mental health imperative. When you have a conflict with someone, it just is in your mind, engulfing you in all aspects. And so, how could I help people be better at that? Many times it's because they're afraid to self advocate, they're afraid to set boundaries. So, if I can help them do those things and be stronger at it, I'm going to be able to help a better humanity. My goal is to help 1 million people be better at conflict. And a part of that is helping their relationship with conflict and getting to better understand themselves and how they can start doing the hard things. And so I just think the time is now because like, like of any other time, helping people better understand themselves and their relationship to conflict, I think this is it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's so important for these multiple generations to be able to find themselves and find the confidence to be able to say no and address these different conflicts that they have. And of course, you're very fluent in conflict literacy, but for you, what would you say the hardest chapter or idea was to actually write about in your book?
I would probably say chapter 13. There's power in picking up the phone. That's a tough one because it's easy in this day and age where relationships are cross country, right? Like at your age, kind of your circle, you're close to each other, right? You're going to see each other at maybe a sport, a club meeting, at school. You're going to consistently see people. At my age, literally, like once you get out of college, the regular seeing people disappears. And so with that, your friendships go worldwide. And it takes a big effort when those friendships are worldwide to sustain them after a conflict, because I'm not going to see you. It means one of us has to pick up the phone. One of us has to be willing, in our hurt, in our anger, in our disappointment, in our pissed offness, to pick up the phone. And that's one of the hardest things ever. So I think that chapter, because it makes me, in it, I talk about a friendship I had where when I was 30, and on my birthday, I was just a jerk to my friend. I take full accountability. She did nothing. And maybe like 8 years later, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I never apologized to her. And I literally picked up the phone and was like, "Hey, Jay, I just want to let you know, I apologize for how I treated you during my birthday. You did nothing wrong. It was completely me." And she started crying and she was like, "I always wondered if it was something I did." And I said, "Nope, it's me." And so there's such a power in being able to do a really hard thing versus, if you get in a fight with someone at school, you might not talk to each other for 3 days, but you're gonna keep seeing them. And if you're in class with them, and if you go to practice, in some ways the relationship's just going to melt back together. But when you are cross country, across the world, you have to have way more intent to do it. And so I think that one of like, there's such a power in picking up the phone and making that first call, even in all of the emotions you have. And that's always the hardest thing to do, is that I'm feeling all these things, but I'm still going to pick up the person to call them because they mean that much to me in my relationship.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say I didn't get the chance to read the book yet, but it seems very exciting and definitely plan to do so sometime soon. But in like a personal aspect, like compared to what in relation to what you said about how it's hard to like pick up the phone, like me personally, I have moved a lot between multiple states, and it's already like very hard to keep in contact with someone. And I imagine
Mhm.
it would be way harder to keep in contact with someone who you had a conflict with. So that seems like a really interesting chapter, and it's like a very nuanced thing, and it's like a very interesting line to kind of go about and figure out how to deal with that. And for the next question, it is, if a student or young professional could only remember one idea from your book, what should it be?
That you're worth the conflict. Like, you're worth it. So many people are afraid to have conflict. Like, you're worth it. I'm a person that conflict in a way comes easy to me, like to have the conversation, to it's hard and it's ugly. And I'm so glad I have friends around me that are willing to have the conversation too. And also, I'm 45. So it's been years of growing. This is not an overnight sensation. You have to go through things. Um, the best learning are the experiences. You can read every single book, you can theorize what you would do until you actually go through it. And so it's like you're worth the conflict. My relationships are so much deeper because we've had conflict and learned how to navigate through it so much deeper.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing how you're teaching all these subjects, as especially because they aren't really taught that much in schools or in the
Mhm.
workplace and seminars. So I think it's really important that people are able to get this information so widely available. What's like one specific piece of advice you would have for students who are navigating conflict with teammates or group projects, as they might feel like lower compared to their professors or supervisors?
Talk to people. So many times I'm in this volleyball group and so many people are like, "What should my kid do about this situation?" Talk to the person. Like, it seems so simple, but talk to them. If you're in a group and you're pissed off they're not pulling their weight, tell them. Like, so many people will sit and complain and do someone else's work and not tell them. No, say something. If you're upset with how a teammate treated you, talk to them. Like, say sometimes we forget that people are in their own heads, and we think that they're thinking about this thing so much and they haven't even thought about it. So talk to them. Say, "Hey, what you said hurt me. This thing that was done, whatever it was," like, talk to them. I think sometimes people will be surprised about how much of this stuff is just misunderstanding.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I can also second that in a sense that it's a very true thing that I see in high school too, where there's like a lot of fights going on and everything, like fights as in like between friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very important to just talk it out and be able to find like a common solution and like a way forward. And now to segue into Kurdle, if I'm saying that right, could you just talk to us about how you came up with the idea and what it was like to find the company?
Yeah, so it's called Cordal. It's coordination plus people. So our whole goal is how do we help groups move easier? Whenever you travel in a group, usually it's chaotic of like text messages, emails, PDFs, and we want to solve that problem. We want to make everything a one-stop shop so it's a lot easier for all your information. Uh, there's two, I think, finding a company, right? You found it, you found that's the easiest part. That is the easiest part in the world. You go and you apply for your C Corp, your LLC, you get your little website, you get your logo, you're done. That will be the easiest part of the entire part. Building a tech platform, gaining users, revenue, and scaling it is the worst thing in the whole damn world. It is horrible. Any of y'all who want to run a tech company, don't do that shit. Oh, it's brutal. It's the hardest thing. I did my PhD in 3 years. I'd rather go do 15 PhDs than run another tech company. I don't know how these people who build a tech company, sell it for hundreds of millions of dollars, want to go back and do it again. It's like punching yourself in the face. Once I sell this company, y'all are not going to be able to find me. I'm going to be on some island somewhere. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's probably totally relatable to many people who are starting their own businesses.
Oh,
And honestly, kind of touching on that side, what was something you didn't really expect when you created your business, whether that was a good thing or a bad thing?
everything. Everything. Like, I'm not BSing y'all. Everything. I have a PhD in sports geography. I don't have a tech background. And I think one of the problems that everyone does is they're like, I have this idea. I don't have the background. I'm just going to jump into it. Ooh, part of me is glad I didn't have a background because I fully didn't know what I was getting myself into. And being naive allows you to jump in a way that it's kind of like skiing. Do any of y'all ski?
Yeah, we both
I
see.
I tried to learn skiing at 30. It was the worst thing ever. I'm so glad I didn't break myself. Like, it was a horrible experience. It took me like 45 minutes to go down the hill. These little like 4-year-olds on skis are like, "Phew, phew, phew," and I am just so terrified. So translate that to tech. If I started skiing when I was like 3, I wouldn't know that you can hurt yourself, right? I would just jump into it, and that's how it was when I started. I just jumped in, I didn't have a clue. Versus now in it, I'm like, "Oh my god, I did not realize this was gonna be this hard." Every part of it. Starting the company is the easiest part. What idea you start with, 80% of the time is not the idea that actually gets you to a million bazillion dollars. It rarely is. And that's what people think of. And you have to be willing to pivot. I think, oh man, so a few of the things I didn't realize were the fundraising part. I think that's a hard part that you don't realize you have to raise money and what like just the work that comes into it. I think working with the app team and understanding what goes into it. Now, I started 3 years ago is so different now, right? Back then you had to have someone to draw each design on Figma and then do the front end coding, back end coding, QA, all of that. Now with the tech out there, I've actually pulled my app off the app store to do a whole new MVP on a vibe coding because there were certain things I wanted to be really close to. So I think that, and then another thing is that when you build a product, not realizing the goal needs to be getting users to get your revenue. And sometimes people don't realize that many people who fundraise are just bleeding money because they can't get the users because of the product they built because they're not willing to pivot. So there was just so much stuff that I just had no clue about when I thought I was solving a problem. And the problem even I'm solving has shifted of what the totality of the needs are. Yeah, I told you this is hard. It is hard as hell.
Definitely sounds really hard. And I was also interested in the fundraising process, which maybe I can talk to you about later. But yeah, definitely sounds really cool.
Don't
And I feel
fundraise.
like don't fundraise.
Don't. No. In this day
Okay.
and age, you don't unless you're doing like a biomedical where you have to do a ton of like research and all of that stuff. If you're building on a tech platform, especially with the technology now, there's no reason to fundraise. You're going to give away too much of your company. They're going to expect hyper growth. Yeah. If you could
Hmm.
bootstrap it in this day and age, do it.
All right. I feel like that's actually very good advice for our audience who maybe is going out of college and trying to find a company. And
Yeah.
so regarding the Kurdle, right? I was wondering what problem in youth sports did you see that pushed you to start the company?
Yeah, so it's kind of when you are doing a tech platform, you want to start big, get a narrow audience, and then be able to go big. And so I started the company because my PhD graduation was a mess. You have your graduation, everyone's asking, where do we go? What do we do? You build an Excel spreadsheet and no one looks at it. And you're so pissed off because no one looked at it. And so I built this for group travel and then narrowed in on youth sports because I said there are so many parents. Parents are traveling 10 to 30 times a year and averaging about $20,000 a year on travel. 20,000. Each term it's about 3,000. It's crazy expensive. And so narrowing in on saying I know sports really well, I know youth sports really well. This is the area, this is a segment of people that needs help managing a lot of stuff. And so how can I help them do that? And so that's kind of how I narrowed in on it.
Yeah, I see. And almost kind of transitioning, you do have to constantly travel for your work, right?
Mhm,
As like you said, fundraising and trying to figure out these new ideas or finding team
mhm.
members and all this. What's one travel lesson that teaches you about human behavior and their perception of different ideas?
What is of human behavior? I think one is whenever the airplane lands, everyone gets up immediately. Like, why do y'all do that? Keep your butts down. Like, you're in 37A, my dude. There is no reason for you to be hurrying up to stand up to get your luggage. Like, there is no reason. I think it teaches us, um, like with that, of the idea of just like the urgency that's unneeded and how some people force a urgency. Like, when you and I am a person that sits at the window, and I just sit there literally, I don't get up at all. I don't care if the flight was 15 hours. I'm gonna just stay seated until it's time for me to leave. Because there's no point of me making the person beside me get up to go grab to hit everyone's head, grabbing my luggage to just stand there. There's no reason. And I think it teaches us a lot about human behavior. I think it teaches us about, unrealistic urgency. I think it teaches us that like, once a plane lands, people think that they deserve to go at speed that other people aren't going at. Sit your butt down. Like, literally, you don't have to be up. There's nothing that you can do in 37A to get you off the plane faster. In reality, all that crowding jams it up and makes it even worse versus just the rows going nice and smoothly.
Yeah, that's a good. I feel like that's a very true point that a lot of people in who always
Ugh.
flies, I can definitely agree on. And this is in a sense, you're juggling so many things, right? As a founder, as a speaker, as an academic.
Mhm.
I was wondering, how do you balance being all of these things all at once?
There is no balance. Balance in any aspect is a lie. Balance in parenthood, balancing in school, like, there is no balance. Certain things are gonna take precedent over other. Like, that's just how it is. So I don't believe in balance because you can't say, "Okay, 50% of my day is gonna go to this, 50% is gonna go to that." That it might be a day full of demos, and I don't get anything done for speaking. It might be a day of applying for speaking stuff. Like, there is no balance. I think that's a lie that people fall victim to, and that makes them feel shame and guilt. Some things are gonna have 80%, some things are gonna be 20%. You just have to figure out what's just gonna best fit you.
Yeah, and when things are really chaotic like this, when you don't know what you're going to focus on that day, what does leadership look like to you when everything feels very uncertain and this kind of chaotic sense?
Just doing one thing. Just do one thing and keep doing one thing. My chief of staff is one of the people that do block schedule. She'll block off something and she'll work on it and then bing, and then she'll move to the other and forget about that thing didn't exist. Jen Fry can't do that. I have ADHD. So like I was redoing my whole slide deck. I spent all day doing it. Because once I'm in the zone, baby, nothing is pulling me away from that. I could have everything blocked off. I'm gonna keep doing that. And so I say that in for me, it's just doing one thing and keep doing the one things because it can get really tiring and it can get really hard. And your progress can feel slow at times and you just have to keep doing one thing. And that's what I try and remind myself of. I'm tired, I'm burnt out. Like I'm on right now a 10-day stretch of traveling. I was in Orlando, I went to Vegas to speak. I'm in where am I at? I'm in San Francisco for a conference. I go back to Vegas to speak. I go to Albuquerque. I'm hitting like 5 places in 10 days. I just have to keep remembering to do one thing. If it's even like, okay, I'm not gonna take a nap on the plane until I get one thing done, and then I can take a nap. But like I just have to keep pushing and doing the one things.
Yeah, and it's crazy to hear your travel schedule where it's a lot of travel.
Mm.
It sounds fun though,
Yeah.
Orlando, to San Francisco to Vegas. That seems really cool. And another question that I had for you is in the sense of your companies and in the sense of when you like maybe make your speaking script, how does understanding geography and culture help you make better decisions?
Oh man. So I don't do scripts whenever I speak because the problem is that when you do a script, you feel like you have to stick to it, and if you go off script, it can really freak you out, especially if you're in front of 500 people. And so whenever I do a speaking engagement, I have kind of my little book and I do bullet points so that I know if I'm talking about something, I can look at this bullet point that will circle me back. I also look at I the way I build out my PowerPoint helps me know what I'm going to be able to speak on next. And so I try and make sure I fully am understanding that. I think understanding geography is understanding the audience I'm in or I'm speaking to and where they're located and what that and how they act related to where they are, right? If I'm speaking to people in the South, in Alabama or Georgia, it's gonna be different in some nuances versus the Midwest versus California versus New York. There's gonna be different nuanced things, right? If I'm talking about conflict, if I'm in the Midwest, I'll talk about the Midwest niceness. If I'm in, New York, I'll talk about how New Yorkers are looked at as kind but not nice. And what does that look like? And so understanding the nuances of where I'm at helped me be able to connect quicker with the audiences I'm working with.
Yeah, and I like that point on how you don't use scripts and how you kind of base go freely
Mhm,
with it. How would you say you develop these speaking habits, and how could high schoolers, because most of our audience is in high school or entering into
mhm.
college, how could you say they can develop these speaking skills?
You have to you have to people tend to hate speech class because you have to talk in front of people. And I think your generation is different because you all talk in front of people all the time on TikTok, on Instagram, on Snapchat. Y'all are doing podcasts, like you all are doing it, and you're getting a lot of feedback. Good or bad or ugly, you're getting a lot of feedback. You're very different. Where in my generation, we had to be talking in front of people. You all are doing it already. It's just different when it's bodies in front of you. And you can see instead of ignoring a comment, you are seeing their face and how they're reacting to it. And that's also what you need to see. It's hard. It's really hard. And you can't theorize yourself to being a great speaker. You can't say, I read Eisenhower's book on how to be a great speaker. It doesn't matter. You can read every single book until you get in front of people and you forget everything you read. You have to get the practice. And you have to be okay with being embarrassed and making a mistake. It's okay. People aren't going to remember that. And the more you do it, the better you will get at it and the more confidence you get at it. You can't build confidence by not doing it. You build confidence by doing it. So I would tell the the students who are going to high school or to college, you just have to do it. And it's going to be so uncomfortable and it's going to be scary and you're going to be worried you're going to mess up and you will live and be okay. You literally will. And I think that's the main thing about it. But that's the only way you're going to get better at doing really hard, scary things is just doing them.
I really love that attitude of just like the Nike slogan, just do it. Just give it a shot.
Absolutely.
Just go out and do it. And it's actually really interesting to see that you don't have a script or you don't other than the bullet points, you don't really plan it out. And I feel like that's actually really cool for being able to, I don't know, I feel like if I was up there, I might have like stage fright or it would be hard to compose yourself, especially like in front of 500 people.
This is literally
So
what my
it's,
script is like right here. This. This
oh
is it.
wow. Yeah, so I feel like that's
I
actually really cool. Yeah, and being able to like compose yourself and I don't know, being able to present yourself and do it really well. And in regards to speaking, I did see that you did have a TED Talk at Duke,
Yeah.
and I was just
Mhm.
wondering how that whole process went. And I know it's a goal for a lot of people to have a TED Talk. So maybe any advice you can give on that, or like how you got the opportunity.
Yeah, that was like my 2nd or 3rd TED Talk I applied to, and I got denied. And I think the first thing I have of advice is so many people, if they don't get it, like, the 1st or 2nd time, get so dejected, and I tell people, like, you gotta suck it up and be better because, like, rejection's normal. And whenever I get rejected for something, my first thought is, what do I need to do better? So if you get rejected from a TED Talk, it's not like, oh my God, I got rejected. I'm horrible. No, just say, okay, I didn't sell my idea the way I needed to get them to latch on. That's literally what it is that your idea could be great. You just didn't sell it in a way that the people were like, we want them on a stage. And so that's all. Whenever you get rejected from anything, don't be like, woe is me. Be like, okay, I need to fix something so that I get picked the next time. And that was what I did was I got the rejection. I was like, okay, let me see how I worded it. Let me see how I talked about it. And you have to just keep working on selling your idea. And this is just normal. It's when you get to a job and you think something needs to be done and they say no, how can I sell this idea better? What part of it do I need to do to get to the yes? And that's really kind of my advice with that.
Yeah, I think that's a great outlook on how to face failure in general too.
Mhm.
Just maybe like how could I do this better next time? What about for days where everything just feels like it's not going well? How do you make sure to have a positive mindset? Because I feel like mindset and just positive affirmations are so important to be able to get through your work and to be successful. So how would you get through a day where things just feel like they're not going right and nothing's really working out?
I would take a nap. Literally, I would take a nap. Napping helps out. It makes things not feel as hard. So I would take like when I have a hard day, I try and get a nap in. I think the second thing is like understanding that it's not always gonna be this bad. Like, it in the moment, it sucks. There have been days where, man, it's really hard. And I try and remind myself that it's gonna pass. I just have to keep one day at a time. If it's I thought I was a shoe-in for something and didn't get it, I'm gonna feel really bad. You have to just keep, like, knowing that this is going to pass, and you have to keep pushing through. There was a video, and I can't remember where it was, but the woman just said, like, she wakes up and say, like, "Good things are gonna happen to me." And I just believe that. It's not to say that bad things aren't, like, bad things are gonna happen to everyone, and I think a lot of people always be like, "Why me?" Well, why not you? Why do you not get to have bad things happen to you, but everyone else gets to? That to me sounds crazy, that I am the only person that no bad thing happens to. No, it's never. Don't be like, "Why is this thing happening to me?" It's life. Bad things happen to everyone. You don't get to be out of bad things happening, and so it's just keep, like, one thing at a time. If you're so sad you didn't get maybe you all are applying to the schools that you really want to, and you get rejected from it. And you eat like, sit with it. It's gonna suck, and you're gonna be mad, you'll cry. It's okay, feel all your emotions, and keep it moving. It's not like, "Oh, I'm a horrible person." It's like, "Okay, for some reason, the universe didn't want me going there." And you'll figure out why. It might take 3 or 4 years, and you meet this mentor that helps you do this thing, and you might not have met that person if you went to the other school. Like, the universe is keeping you from that thing, even though you wanted it for a lot, the universe is keeping you from there, and you'll see in the future why. But you have to just get through it. Like, bad things are gonna happen. Never say, "Why me?" Because why not you? It's just you have to keep moving through it, take a nap, maybe call a friend, have your favorite snack, but you have to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Because I would hate for a bad day to cause a bad week, to cause a bad month, to cause a bad year, all because of one day. That would really suck.
Yeah, and I definitely agree about the part about rejection and kind of moving on for it. And especially because our main audience is high schoolers. I feel like what you said about college and college admissions, that's very true in the sense that if you work for it all of high school, it can definitely be very demotivating
Mhm.
if the college you want to get into doesn't work out. And that's like part of life, right? There's so many people who want to go, they only have these many slots. And I
Yeah.
really like the attitude that you portrayed of just sit with it and then be able to grow and move on from it and maybe do better next
Mhm.
time. And as we slowly start to wrap the episode up, regarding your book, you did talk about why you wrote the book, but if you were to summarize the main points and the main advice you would give, what do you hope that the readers would walk away with?
I hope that readers would walk away with rethinking some of the conflicts in their life and the relationships maybe that ended because of it. I would hope that there's some that there maybe is one that they're like, I should probably call that person. I had a friend actually who, after he read the first chapter, was like, I realized, he said, I handled conflict well. He said, I'm not afraid of conflict. I just don't know if I handled it well. And he said, I think there was a conflict with my aunt that I need to maybe talk out with her. And that there have been people who are willing to re-engage a relationship that maybe they weren't before. And so that's what I hope they walk away with is like, I don't know if I looked at this relationship through, right, like open eyes. And maybe I should re-engage to see if the person's willing to reconcile.
Yeah, and kind of tying into that question, we asked this question to all of our guests. So, what is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self if it was just one thing back in time?
To always speak up. Always. There were times in my life where somebody said something and they were so bold and I just sat there and didn't support them, and I will always regret that. Always speak up. Always, always, your voice is gonna shake. You're gonna be scared of repercussions. Always speak up. When in doubt, always speak up because you will never gain anything by being silent. And people will take your silence as you agree with bad things. You can sit there and be like, "No, I don't agree," but if you are silent, of course people are gonna think that you agree with it. So, always speak up. It will be hard in some situations, it'll be so hard, but always speak up.
Wow, that's such a great piece of advice. Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much. This has been such a great episode. I feel like me and Arv, as well as all our listeners, have learned and will be learning a lot about this. And we'll definitely check out your book. We'll link it in the description as well, as I feel like this could truly benefit our whole generation.
Yeah, I'm actually a
Definitely.
friend of mine. She told me that I need to make like a version for teens of the book, so I'm probably gonna be doing that within the next year and a half.
Oh wow, that sounds really exciting. And then that
Mhm.
definitely we will check out. But yeah, totally to echo what Praneet said, it was such a great episode, and I feel like the advice you gave is really concrete and solid. That kind of transcends It's something that applies to high school, college, relationships with friends, family, anything. And I feel like
Mhm.
it's really solid advice, and it was an amazing interview. So thank you so much for that.
I appreciate you all for having me on here. Thank you, friends.
Of course.
Dr. Fry, thank you so much for starting season 5 with so much wisdom and so much clarity. Your work shows us that conflict is not just something to fear, but something to understand. Whether in sports, tech, leadership, or even just in everyday life, your perspective changes how people think about communication and accountability.
To our listeners, we hope you gained actionable insights on leadership, conflict literacy, and navigating complex environments with confidence. If you want to learn more about Dr. Fry's work, check out. Wait, can you hear that?
No?
Oh,
Wait, what
okay. It's
happened?
the cooker in the back. I
Oh,
think my mom's cooking. All right, wait, let me restart the para. To our listeners, we hope you guys. Oh, God. Okay.
uh-oh.
Let me log in. To our listeners, we hope you gained actionable insights on leadership, conflict literacy, and navigating. Bro. So loud.
Wait, what happened?
Just the cooker in the back.
Oh,
Like this, the steam, like when you cook
oh
rice.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, this is like actually, it's like as soon as I'm about to talk. Okay, I'll start as soon as I finish it. Okay.
Okay.
To our listeners, we hope you gained actionable insights on leadership, conflict literacy, and navigating complex environments with confidence. If you want to learn more about Dr. Fry's work, check out Jen Fry Talks, explore Koodle, and definitely read her book. I said no. This is a conversation that can change the way you show up in every space.
Thank you so much for all our listeners for tuning in to Season 5, Episode 1 of Professional Perspectives. We'll see you in the next episode, and until then, keep on exploring your professional perspectives.
Okay, now season 3.
Yep.
And just like that, we reached the end of season 3 of Professional Perspectives. This season has been one of our most meaningful yet because every conversation reminded us that success is never just about one job title, one accomplishment, or one singular moment. It's about growth, consistency, and learning how to adapt when things do not go as planned.
We want to give a huge thank you to all of our Season 3 guests for sharing their stories and taking the time to speak with us. We had the opportunity to learn so much from Shefke Abdullah, Siddharth Pai, and Varun Prashant Gangal, and each of them brought a completely different perspective on leadership, decision making, and what it really takes to keep improving.
Why did it say uncle?
Wait, what did it say? Hanango or something?
I think I mistyped because G and H on the keyboard.
Oh, wait, is it? Wait, shoot, is it Gungle or Ganagle? I keep saying Gungle.
It is Gongo. Wait,
It's Gungle. Okay,
I
why is it
hope.
Gungle?
I hope.
Okay,
Wait, even on the LinkedIn post, I said Gongo. No, it has to be Gongo.
okay, it's either Gungle or he's lying. It's just
Or
Gungle.
he's really nice. Okay. Whether it was learning about resilience, building confidence through experience, or staying curious in fast changing fields, every episode gave us something we can carry forward. And to everyone listening, we hope you were able to take away lessons that apply not just to careers, but to life.
Thank you so much for supporting Professional Perspectives and growing with us season after season. If you enjoyed season 3, make sure to follow the podcast, share it with a friend, and let us know which moment stood out to you the most.
We're excited for what's ahead, and we cannot wait to bring you even more powerful conversations in season 4.
Until then, keep learning, keep pushing yourself, and keep building your own professional perspectives. We'll see you next season.
Wait, don't stop it yet.
Do we got more?
Wait, let me make one for season 4 closing.
Okay.
Because I didn't do that either. Wait, can you just read out the guests for season 4?
Yeah, sure. Let me
Alright.
pull it up. Let me pull the sheet up. All right. So we had
Jonathan Clark was
Jonathan
the first
Clark,
one. Brady Jones. I don't know.
Alex
Was there?
Cohen,
Okay.
and then Andrew Yu, and then Dan DiFrancesco.
Wait, it's the exact same thing.
Same exact script.
Yeah. Wait, give me like their roles. Like, what did they do?
Jonathan Clark. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Let me check.
Something about partnerships, right? In Duke or UNC or
I
real
think-
estate.
Let me click on his episode. All right. Jonathan Clark is a consultant at Microsoft.
No, that's new. He just got that job
Wait, then what is he?
because he joined that job a month ago, right?
Oh, shoot.
Oh
Okay.
my god, I'm on LinkedIn too much. What is this? This is sad.
Wow.
This is sad. No, I was asking him to repost or thing, but that's really sad.
That's crazy.
Why do I know that? Wait, let me guess his role. Something for partnerships for oil in like Saudi Arabia or like
Mhm.
Arabia oil, or maybe like Central America. Something to do with oil or partnerships. Is that
I
kind of
think
close?
so. I
What to say?
It says he's held roles across a wide range of industries, including consulting, financial services.
Wait, no. For Microsoft.
Oh, for Microsoft? I don't know his role in Microsoft. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's
Let's
honestly.
check.
Wait. What's it? I want to see. I want to see if I got that right.
You definitely did. I believe in you.
It's really sad if I got it right, Praneeth. You don't understand.
Why is it sad?
Because I saw Signet so much that I know his latest job role that he got after the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let me see. Oh my god, his role is customer business outcomes lead, managing or serving clients in oil.
Nice.
Like,
Why do you know this?
see, Praneeth, do you understand what I'm going through to get the guests? Like,
Yes.
oh my god, it's so hard, dude. It takes forever to get a guest. It's crazy. Oh my god.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is. Okay, but okay, what's his role? Head of
Currently or
strategic.
before? It just said he just done a lot of stuff like business, finance, like all that, John. I don't know.
All right. Okay, and then Brady Jones is EVS operator.
Yeah.
Alex Cohen is broadcaster for who? Marquee Sports Network, right?
Yep. Wow. I didn't even know that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, and then who was for?
Andrew Yu.
Andrew Yu, sales executive for Mercury, Phoenix Mercury. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dan DeFrancesco, Deputy Executive Director.
Business Insider, right?
Yep. Deputy Deputy Editor. There's another word.
Editor. Oh yeah. Let me check the word. It says doesn't. Okay, it's not in here. Let me check it in the other spots
As
potentially.
executive. Wait, let me check. Dan D.
It says he is
Executive. Yeah. Call it a
just
day.
executive.
All right. Okay. Yeah. This is longer. All right. You ready? Uh, I'll add it to Jen Fry.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sure. I just gotta remember all this stuff is in one doc.
It should look be
Or
easy.
one
And
other.
actually, I don't even think editing should be that hard for McLaren. We had like no mess ups or anything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I can leave most of it. Just listen to a quick thing. I did and the gaps. That's it.
Yeah. I think even those are like kind of fine. Like, except that one thing where he was like thinking for 40 seconds for the final question, which is kind of
Yeah.
important. Other than
Hmm.
that, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Yep. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And just like that, we reached the end of season 4 of Professional Perspectives. This season has been one of our most meaningful and wait, this is the exact start.
I was gonna say.
It just changed the description. It's fine, right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, it's fine. And just like that, we reached the end of season 4 of Professional Perspectives. This season has been one of I can't say that. Uh
You're gonna change it. Okay.
this season
It's whatever most eye opening yet. Cause we.
was the best one yet. Okay.
Okay.
Exclamation point, you know. And just like that, bro. You wanna switch for Neith?
It's up to you. I don't really mind.
Okay,
Sure.
you start. I'll end this time.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We can swap. All right. And just like that, we've reached the end of season 4 of Professional Perspectives. This season was the best one yet because every episode showed us that success is not one straight path. It's about learning fast, staying adaptable, and being willing to step into new challenges even when you're not fully comfortable yet.
We want to give a huge thank you to all of our season 4 guests for taking the time to join us and share their stories. This season, we had the chance to learn from professionals across business, sports, media, sales, and leadership, and every conversation brought a different kind of energy and lesson.
We started season 4 with Jonathan Clark, whose career is one of the most versatile and impressive journeys we've ever featured. From strategic partnerships and business development to healthcare consulting and government markets, he's worked across industries and roles that demand both confidence and adaptability. Mr. Clark also shared what it really looks like to build long term success through relationships, strategic thinking, and leadership, including his experience as the head of strategic alliances for government markets at Blue Cross NC and now as an advisor with Global South X South Consulting.
We also had Brady Jones, who gave us an inside look into what it takes to thrive in a hands on, high responsibility role as an EVS operator. His episode reminded us that every job matters, every role has impact, and professionalism is about how you show up, how you take pride in your work, and how you contribute to the people around you, no matter what your title is.
Then we had Mr. Alex Cohen, a broadcaster at Marquee Sports. Nice. Okay, hold on. Let that ring down. Okay. Then we had Mr. Alex Cohen, a broad. Okay, let me try that again. Then we had Mr. Alex Cohen, a broadcaster at Marquee Sports Network, who brought us into the world of sports media and storytelling. Mr. Cohen helped us understand what it takes to build a career on camera, how to prepare when the spotlight is on, and why communication skills and confidence matter just as much as sports knowledge.
We also spoke with Andrew Yu, a sales executive at Mercury, who showed us what modern sales really looks like. modern. Okay. We also spoke with Andrew Yu, a sales executive at Mercury. We, at Phoenix. Okay, wait. We also spoke with Andrew Yu, a sales executive at Phoenix Mercury, who showed us what modern sales really looks like. His episode highlighted how relationship building, trust, and communication can open doors in any industry. Mr. Yu also shared lessons about staying disciplined, staying hungry, and learning how to create value for people instead of just trying to sell something.
And finally, we wrapped up the season with Mr. Dan DiFrancesco, Deputy Executive Editor at Business Insider. Mr. DiFrancesco gave us a real behind the scenes look at journalism and digital media, including how stories are chosen, how news moves so fast, and what it takes to stay sharp in a competitive field. His episode reminded us that curiosity, consistency, and writing skills are really powerful tools, especially for students who want to learn how to think clearly and communicate well.
To everyone listening, thank you for. Bro. You know the egg timer?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if that's going off right now. It's like that. No, 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 no. To everyone listening, thank you for supporting professional perspectives and being part of this journey with us. We hope season 4 give you practical lessons you can talk about right now, whether that's in school, sports, leadership roles, or other way. Oh, I can't read. Okay. To everyone listening, thank you for supporting professional perspectives and begin. Like, what is going on? I'm just like I don't know what's going on. Okay. To everyone listening, thank you for supporting professional perspectives and being part of the journey with us right now.
You good, bro?
I don't know. I think I'm just happy. I don't have any hard tests or quizzes for like the week.
Nice.
Yes, so
I
I'm just
think.
yeah. To everyone listening, thank you for supporting professional perspectives and being part of this journey with us. We hope season 4 gave you practical lessons you can apply right now, whether that's in school, sports, leadership roles, or the way you think about your future.
If you enjoyed season 4, make sure to follow the podcast, share it with a friend, and let us know which guest or moment stood out to you the most.
We're already excited for what's next, and we cannot wait to bring you even more powerful conversations in season 5. Until then, stay motivated, stay curious, and keep building your own professional perspectives. We'll see you next season. Wait,
Perfect.
wait,
Okay.
wait, don't start.
I won't, yeah.
Season 5 intro.
Oh, okay. We had to do that too. Nice.
Yep. But these are easy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like really
No,
small
yeah,
one.
there.
Yeah. Okay, Praneeth, do you think you have any more time for the podcast?
What do you mean? To record or for editing?
Uh, I was thinking of a website.
Uh huh.
Do you think you'd be able to start working on one?
I would. I think so, yeah.
You
I
think
think
so?
I might, yeah, I should be able to, hopefully.
Really? Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
this is of course like back priority
Mhm.
compared to the 5 shorts I was telling you about on
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
and like Instagram
Uh-huh.
and the actual editing. But like if
Yeah.
you get to it,
Mhm.
just like think about it.
Sure, yeah. If I have, yeah, when I get free time, I'll definitely
Yeah,
look
whenever
into
you
it.
get time. Like that's like
Mhm.
a month. It's fine if it takes like a month or two to it. It doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. Real quick, I have a question. I know you did create a website. Do you not want to do that one, or like what's the thing for that? Just curious.
Uh oh, that website's gone, right? Because they had like
Squarespace
they
or
had
the.
like yeah no I bought the domain. I think we still
Uh-huh.
have the domain because I remember. I think we bought two
Uh-huh.
years. I think we still have the domain, or we can renew it.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But the website I made, it was through. I think it was through GoDaddy or
Mhm.
one of the things. And then
Uh-huh.
like once I made it, they were like you have to pay like $200 to host it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like crazy, and then we didn't want to do
Uh-huh.
that, right? But
Yeah.
there's like I'll send you a link. There's this thing called Framer, where
Uh-huh.
if you keep your student email, the website making's free, and then we have the
Mhm.
domain, so like it's basically free. And the
Okay.
thing is, it's like it's the same website that the NBA
Mhm.
uses and Perplexity uses, but it's like by AI, but it's not like the AI we're using. Like it's actually like good AI, but it makes
Yeah.
really solid websites. So Loki, it shouldn't take more than like an hour or two max. Like if you actually like focus
Okay.
on it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And
Perfect.
then I
Yeah.
added season 5 intro.
All right. Into same doc.
Yeah, Jen Fry.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first episode where we're going to include the names of the guests because we actually know
Oh.
everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay. Welcome back to Professional Perspectives. I'm Marva Kella, joined as always by my co-host Praneeth Vimuri, and today we are officially kicking off season 5. First of all, thank you to everyone who has supported this podcast from the beginning. Every season we've grown not just in the guests we bring on, but in the lessons we take away, and we're excited to bring you to our biggest season yet.
Season 5 is all about growth, leadership, and stepping into bigger opportunities. We're bringing on guests who have built careers in completely different worlds, from business and communication to sports, coaching, and fan experience. This season is going to highlight what it takes to really succeed in competitive fields, stay confident under pressure, and keep learning even when the path isn't obvious.
We're also making the season even more intentional for students. Whether you're trying to figure out what career you want, how to stand out, or how to build the right habits early. Every episode this season is going to give you real takeaways you can apply right away.
We're so excited to feature incredible guests this season, including Dr. Jen Fry, Mr. Jack McKisson, Mr. Ryan Namer, Mr. Pete Soto, and Coach Scott Fleming. Each one of them brings a unique story and a different perspective, but they all share something in common. They've worked hard, stayed consistent, and learned how to lead in moments that matter.
So, whether you're listening for inspiration, advice, or just to learn something new, we're grateful you're here. Season 5 starts today, and we cannot wait for you to hear. Okay. So, whether you're listening for inspiration, advice, or just to learn something new, we're grateful that you're here. Season 5 starts today, and we cannot wait for you to hear what's coming.
Let's get right into it, and welcome to Season 5 of Professional Perspectives.
All right, now we can end the recording.
Perfect.